Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. Um, it seems like it's been a long time since last I sat here and we all got together to talk about Raja Yoga. So it's nice to be back. And it's nice to think about where to begin. Raja Yoga, as we've been talking about, is a system that was designed thousands of years ago, but had to be some pretty remarkable people. Um, these people one understood that there was a way to experience ourselves as an individual, unique, everyone being special. There was a way to experience ourselves in a really relaxed, comfortable way while being connected to something that was greater than we are. And they came up with techniques that would allow you to recognize the experience of being in that unified state of consciousness, whether you were at work, birthing a child, harvesting fruit, whatever it might be, there was a way to be yourself in a physical body with a personality and maintain a very deep experience of being in that unified field. That's Raja Yoga. And they describe it very, very specifically, but it has to be understood because what they're talking about is in the beginning of it all, there was just the unified field. Everything begins from somewhere. And so those yogis thought about it enough and realized, well, there's this experience that you can have where you feel so comfortable and so relaxed in yourself or so dynamic in yourself, whatever it is you're doing as the personality you. But there's a way to be yourself and at the same time experience this feeling of being a part of something bigger than you are as an individual. A community experience that just goes way, way out there. And so the steps that they describe is to begin to do practices that allow you to experience yourself in that communion, in that connection to the unified field. And, which is really great, be a human being in the world, be a mom, be a dad, be a teacher, be a scientist, be a yogi, be a meditator, be an astronaut, but to do all of that in a way where you do it in a unified manner. So you could never, what we call cut the space. You could never consciously do anything that would benefit yourself at the expense of someone else. That's not a possibility when you're in that state of consciousness. So Raja Yoga says, okay, let's connect to it. I want you to understand what it is. So there's this experience of something bigger than we are, and we'll give it some names. And then there are some techniques that you can practice which allow you to experience it and then to know that you've experienced it and give it a name. Name and form. That's how language and communication works. But in Raja Yoga, we're naming the experiences that we have as a member of the unified field, as someone who is relaxed enough in themselves that they have discovered a way to be themselves and inevitably to be of service to others. So there is that unified field. It has a sound. And they say, the yogis say this, I'm not that acoustically advanced, but what they say is if you are able to compress every sound that can happen in the universe, every bird, every baby crying, every tree communicating to the others in its clan in the forest. If you could take the sound of birds and whales and elk and just everything and compress it down, you'd come up with the very essence of where all sound creates out of. Om. The yogis say that's the sound. Om. So that sound, all of us know, recognize, and feel 100% of the time so comfortable when we're at that state of consciousness, when we have left our own limited personality with all our likes and dislikes and all the things that come up and our upsetness and our desire to be this. If we just let that all rest and begin to experience ourselves at a state where everything is in balance, everything is unified. And that's where the word yoga comes from. And I should check right now. Is sound okay? Am I on the screen? Okay, so I'm like the big one on the screen? Good. Because we're recording this, everyone, and you can get a copy of it. And my technology is really bad. So I've been recording all of you at the same time, which I like, but you get the point. So there's this experience of being in the seat of the beginning, the place where there's no second, the origination point that never had an origin, something that has no beginning and has no end. Oh, my mind will get blown with stuff like this. You'll be accused of being on drugs. Which in a way we are. Oh, Mel's joining us. I can tell because you're not muted.
I am now.
So here we are with this understanding that there is the experience we can have, which has no second experience. It is a complete experience. And there's a name for it. That experience, if we align ourselves vibrationally with the actual place, that's where sound comes in. That's where name and form is important. That's why that's why we have the little functions in the mind, like thinking and analyzing and concluding, remembering. But if you can experience that state enough times, you can create a sound that allows you to go back to it. Good friend of ours said, did a movie on yogis in India. He called it Back to the Source, which I thought was pretty cool. So there is a way to go back to the source. However, that experience is experiencing nothing. Wow. Now you know we're on drugs. The experience of nothing, which is everything. Yoga. All right, so we start from there. That's what Raja Yoga starts. In the beginning was the sound, and the sound was all of those things we've heard different traditions talk about. Everything starts from the vibration of the whole. Everything emanates out of that vast. See, vast is the wrong word. It's way beyond vast. Vast is small compared to it. There is nothing to describe it because words would be just trying to understand it. However, if you can vibrate at a similar frequency to it, you will experience it. That's the beauty of Raja Yoga. It is a step-by-step path to do the practices that train the mind and train you as a conscious being to focus on something other than your physical life. And that takes some tutelage, certainly for me. I couldn't do that alone. I've had some amazing people in my life who've guided me with that. So first, we're starting out by understanding Om. So close your eyes for a moment. Take some deep breaths. Go into a place where you begin to feel comfortable. And as you're breathing, breathe with this understanding. We emanate from something greater than we are. No matter what tradition, religion, what everyone has that. Yogis speak of it as a vibration because we want to experience it. So begin to breathe deeply, but take into your consciousness that there is something that you originate from. It flows through you every moment, actually. You're within it. You're completely saturated in it. Now, the yogis call that Brahm. It's a vibration. I like that word a lot. I vibrate with that word. However, for our purposes right now, we're going to call it the place that has no beginning and has no end. It's the place where everything is in complete unity. There are no parts. There's just the whole. So as you're breathing, that's the sound that if you can create that vibration, you will have the opportunity to download, to open yourself to. See, it's not quite downloading, but what it's doing is dissolving into. So as you're breathing, you're allowing your own personality and everything you are and like and dislike and whatever, you're just allowing that to fall away. You're sitting with the thought that there is something greater than I am. There is something that is so much more than what I think, what I touch with my hand, what I see with my eyes. There's something that gives me the power to see and talk and touch and hear and think. There's something that I am part of that empowers me to be who I am. You're directing your mind towards that Brahm, towards that unified experience. You can't think your way there. So what you're doing is just going and pointing at the right direction with the thought, something created this. I am part of the creation, which means there's something that created it. That's as close as you can get to it. And then, when the mind is thin, when the mind is in Narod, Raja Yoga, we call it the waveless state, then the vibration, you're getting so close to being that, in that, open to that, experiencing that, not with your thoughts, not as energy, not with your body. You're experiencing it as I am. That's the very essence of who we are. So listen, and this is the vibration that can get you resonating very close to that unified field. Om. Feel, experience it. Not just think it. That is, it's resonating in a very specific way. It's aligning you as best as you are capable of. It's aligning us to something that's greater than we are. The place that everything originates from. This experience, be aware of it. You, me, we're conscious beings way before we enter into a personality, light years before we operate this physical body and drive it down the highway. We come from that. Om. So now, the challenges, stay aware of it. So yogis have the next step. So we're going to be coming in and out a lot together. So time to come back, connect with me so I can see you. Take a deep breath, nice slow breath. Because when you slowly come back and open your eyes, I want you to just notice. So with eyes open, just let yourself absorb Sri Yantra. Just let it in. It's a pretty cool thing, isn't it? So as you're looking at it, as you're focusing on it, this is the hum. This is the portal from Om, the everything nothing, to the first burst of I am part of this unified field. The first very spark. So out of Om comes hum. This is the portal for that. On the other side of it, we take a dive. A dear friend of mine calls it taking a dip in the cosmic hot tub. The only thing is you don't know you're in the hot tub. This is the place where you can know you're in the hot tub. This is where Om, the sound of everything, begins to individualize into hum. Just think of it. There is a transition from being completely with the unified field. You can't even say I'm someone in the unified field, but you are the unified field. Right now, we are completely operating and thinking and living because of that unified field. Question is, do you experience it or not? But that's another topic for another time. The most important thing for us to understand is that the yogis actually gave it a name. Hum. It means I am. It doesn't mean I am. It's like if you want to kind of let your mind wrap around the experience of hum. So again, close your eyes for a moment and just silently repeat it with me. Hum. 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 Open your eyes again. I know you guys. You'll disappear on me. I need you. All right. Hum. I am. The question becomes, how often during the day do you, right? I live in the country on an island in the North Pacific. So I look outside and I see water and I see an island across the way there. And I see trees and I see eagles flying by and I see hawks and I see grass and I see rabbits. And it's like, I literally daily, I look out and it's like, wow, wow, wow. That really humbles me. You see a great athlete. You see someone who can do things took so much energy. A dancer, right? We got a dancer here with us tonight. So dancing and doing these amazing movements with their body. And you talk to them and you say, that's incredible. How do you do that? They're going to say practice. I understand that part. But what they're going to say is, I don't know. I just practice and I get into this space and things happen and I don't even know how I do it. I'm humbled by it. We have language for this experience. I'm not sure everyone really understands it. Hum. I am. Ility. I tried to figure some catchy way to put the ility in. Doesn't work. I'm not going to try to go there. But nevertheless, it's still pretty cool. Hum. Ility. Raja Yoga tells you what hum is. Hum is all of us without this body and mind. It's like ghosts. It's a meeting of ghosts. It's like bodiless, mindless, pure conscious beings. Hum that vibrates with bliss. That the experience of hum is soothing. It's comforting because it's who we are. It's the very vibrational experience of I am. Hum. I'm humbled by that. Humbled by that. Somehow we got our language to vibrate with this. I think it got lost, certainly not with us, because we understand what we're saying. There is a vibrational experience. And if you are comfortable enough in yourself, our individuality can be in alignment with the unified field, which that can't be bad. I know a lot of worse things than that. So Raja Yoga says there is the origination point, Om. Out of that comes consciousness of itself in the unified field, awareness. And then that awareness activates a personality that we've been working on for many a year here. I'd say incarnations, but I don't want to make anyone think of something that might be uncomfortable. But anyway, here we are, individuals with the capacity to be connected to who we are in essence. I am. I am a yogi, right? Yogi comes last. I am has to be there first. There's no yogi if I am isn't there. You chance can't say yogi. The I am has to be first. Shortest sentence in the English language. It is a power-packed vibration. We're giving words to a vibration. That's what we have to remember. So here's the thing. If I'm experiencing, for example, Stephen, put your microphone on, please.
Okay.
Now, many of you might think that I'm just doing this on my own, like I'm some kind of brilliant person who can just turn it on and boom, everything happens. Doesn't happen that way. We have a group of us who get together in Satsang, which we may actually invite you. We're thinking of doing a pre-show so you can be part of this kind of just tuning ourselves on. However, what everyone should know is that Stephen, who's been doing this for a very, very, very long time, is an amazing yogi. So, Stephen, could you share with everyone what just happened? That was true, by the way. That was not just.
Well, when you were leading up to it, I felt my head get hot and was a little concerned about what would be coming next, but I tried to remain open and available. And as
Was that, were you in the hum? Were you in the hum then?
Not then. No,
it didn't sound like a hum. It sounds like an hum.
No, it sounded, no, the gears were grinding.
Yeah.
But then when you said is an amazing yogi, all of that went away and the hum came back. Because I said, I know.
How many of us have received the compliment and found it quite difficult to let it in? How come? Embarrassed? Think the person's deluded and shouldn't be even saying something nice about you or some compliment or something? Isn't that interesting? He had humility. Stephen had humility. That's humility. Humility. You hear someone speak and it puts you in the vibrational state of hum. Now, the first part, he was humbless. A lot of people are humbless. This is actually a big problem. But
you had no sense of humor?
It's an amazing vibrational sound. That's the key. So when Stephen let it in, everyone felt it, right? And he said something really beautiful. What did he say? I know. Now, someone could hear that and say, huh, that's not very humble. So there's a lot of confusion about the word is, and that's why as Raja Yogis, we have to speak about it and we have to talk about it as a vibration. Hum is the vibration of sitting comfortably in yourself. And she's not here this evening because I was gonna compliment her. But some of you might have been around, but after one of our sessions, this very dear person I've known, Rod and I have known her for a very long time. She used to always come when we did these in-person ones in Vancouver. And she said one time, you're a very humble person, said it to me. Two things happened. The first thing is, it's the first time in my life anyone called me humble. And I had a concept of humility, which didn't fit my New Jersey, Roman Catholic, Italian, hardworking middle class consciousness. It's like, tell me I'm a wild person or something and tell me it's hard for me to follow the rules. I can take that. But when she said it, I felt it. That was the main thing that happened. I felt it. It wasn't me. She wasn't speaking about me. She was speaking about the hum. She was in a vibrational state where she was so appreciating that I had taken the time to do the practices the way I've been doing it for a long, long time. You know the story. But I could have this sharing with someone that allows them to experience that hum. I don't do that. Hum does it. Don't blame me. That is actually what flows through all of us, and we all know that state. We all know what it's like when we leave our little limited idea of who we are and we experience ourselves in community with everything, whether that be in nature, with your beloved, working and giving and serving someone. It can come in so many different ways. We all know what it feels like when we're hummified. And no one ever who is in that vibrational state of I am, when they get complimented, can never take it in a way like, oh, well, thank you. No, oh, I never thought of it that way. Yeah, thank you. Or no, that's not me. You're wrong. There's something wrong with you. You just made a silly thing. Why should you say such a thing? I mean, people don't say it, but that's the indicator. No. When you're in that vibrational state, you are authentic every moment. And you know that if something comes out, if something I say tonight in the way that I'm looking at humility within the context of Raja Yoga, if something is worthwhile and useful, what I am absolutely fully cognizant of is that's not me. That's the hum. That's the I am. So when I say it's not me, what I mean is it's not this individual mind and personality and physical body. No, it's the consciousness that's connected to the unified field. And when anyone speaks from their relationship to the unified field, a full relationship, if you are sensitive, you're going to pick it up. You'll know it. So humility is the experience of being in relationship and being so thankful for your experience in that moment. Whether that's something you receive or it's something you give or it's something you think of, whatever it might be, you're dancing, you're in a game, you're just being someone walking down the street, but you are in awe and humbled by the fact that you're walking through a unified experience. You're not separate. You're not alone in that state. There's no hum-ific. Everything in that vibrational state is inclusive, is healing, is life-enhancing, is consciousness-inducing. It's a very powerful vibrational state. But you can't think yourself there. So there are some people who kind of miss it. I know someone who's got an expensive car. And I watched this happen because I was with this person, close friend. And I watched someone come up and say, wow, that's a really nice car. Wow. And I watched my friend answer this way. This is how he answered. It really is a really nice car. It really functions well, and I'm really happy with it. I thought, I like that. Because that's an expensive car. And it's not like most people might do it this way. If you weren't humble, if you weren't in the hum space, you might say, someone says, wow, that's a nice car. And you go, yeah, nice car, huh? No, I didn't say you're a nice car. I said that piece of metal is a nice car. They get confused. Not even their fault, though, because they haven't had the opportunity to experience themselves in a vibrational state as pure individual in the unified field I am. Because every time you experience yourself in that level, the personality you, the feeling you, the thinking you is just, you can be overwhelmed. Surprised by joy. When I was with a dear friend and I coached him as he took some special chemicals to drop his body. He was in 4th stage, very painful pancreatic cancer. And so I was able to be with him and we went through the experience. I was And we prepared for this for 8 months. He was in the hum. I was so humbled by that experience. It was powerful. To watch someone, because I've watched them come in, right? I love watching them come in. Not a lot of them, but I have had a chance to see a few. It's spectacular. But going out is equally spectacular. The same exact energy. Radha would always say that because we do these things together. So she would say, wow, it's really amazing. We were with her mother when she passed. We were just humbled by the experience. It was so overwhelmingly powerful. So with Steve, I was really humbled when he left his body. Wow. Wow. I experienced truth in that moment. When Stephen said, I know, of course he'd have to say, I know, because it's the truth. And he's also aware of what I'm saying is that's why I use the word yogi, which he knows. I'm not saying, hey, Stephen, you've got like a killer yoga body that can just do anything in your mind. I can't believe how it thinks. No, not at all. We were talking about hum. And so he went to that vibrational place. And so we communed together. That's what the nice thing about being humble is. You get along with a lot of people. You know who to get along with and who not to who to avoid. There's a guidance system in the unified field that allows us, if we will stay in awe of what flows through us, if we will connect to the place inside of us that has that genius, that is that amazing person. And there are many people on the planet who have that, but they don't have the hum. So our genius, special quality, my definition of genius. Everyone has genius. Just our culture defines it in a particular way. Don't go with that. If each of us will discover the place where we're comfortable in ourselves and connect with hum, om. Takes some work. Takes a lot of work, but it's so rewarding. So close your eyes now. And focus on this to begin. And then each of you will move through this exercise as is best for you individually. But I'd like you all to start by appreciating yourself. Skip the good looks. Skip I'm a good comic. Appreciate who you are. Allow everything to settle. That's where you use your breath now. You're yogis, so use that breath. Ujjayi breath, deep breath in, pause, long, slow breath out. That is the breath then that begins to get your physical and energetic body resonating in a field that is harmoniously conducive with hum. Anger's not. Hatred's not. Greed is not. Sad is. There's many, many, many emotions that will be experienced when you are just comfortable in your own hum. The yogis say, Tattvamasi, thou art that. You're the hum. Hum, you're it. And as you continue to just settle in this feeling of who you are appreciated, how fortunate we are. We have a human birth. We've connected ourselves to good people. We're caring, we're loving. We're not greedy, we don't take, we give. All of that is an outcome of I am. It's who I am. I am meaning you. It's who you are. It's who we are. And for the short time we're in a human incarnation, and for the short time we have these physical experiences, all of it is possible because I am. How humbling is it to know right now, please, you are that I am. You are always. Experiencing it. Unless you're not. So breathe into that thankfulness. Breathe in to all the good things that have been given to you. All the things you can't take credit for, but you're thankful that you had the opportunity to interact, to relate to experience. Thou art that. Wow. Whoa. And as you experience that thankfulness, and some of you are already there, you begin to allow yourself to be saturated with hum. You begin to surrender and open up to who you are. We are that. Amaram hum. Maduram hum. I am. I have always been. I am. Experience is blissful. It's beyond words. It's behind, within everything we do, we say, we think. Amaram hum. Hum. I am. So let's sit quietly in that for a few minutes. Oh.
Mm.
To experience humility, we have to be in our body. Our mind has to be clear, waveless. We have to be aware enough to be able to recognize when the feeling comes. The more we spend time in hum, the more accustomed we become of it, the more comfortable we become of it, the more established we become in it. So take your time, because it's the coming back into your personality and body that is so important, to bring that experience of bliss, of peace, of unity into your life always is a plus. So breathe into it. When you're ready, rub your hands, create some heat. Those who have their cameras off, please turn them on, even if it's dark where you are. And stroke out the eyes gently. And when you come back, spend a moment. Look around. Appreciate all that you have and all that you are. Wow. So, humility is a state of consciousness. It's not what you do, it's the state of consciousness you're in. I guarantee, and all of you confirm it, I know you agree with me, that when you are connected to that experience, nothing's better. Not even brownies. Eggplant Parmesan pales in comparison. That's a lot. So why wouldn't we want to have that experience, right? But not everyone. There's kind of three different people in the world. There's the people who are hummified. There are people who have connected to that place enough times that they just embrace it, and then they live it, and they're very humble. And then you get the people who want to be humble. They want to be that. They're not experiencing it. There's not a lot of hum. Those people have a lot of challenges. There's a lot of humps in the road, so to speak. So those people, it doesn't quite work. Those are the people that they give you a compliment and it's kind of off. You like it, it's nice they said it, but it's not hum. It's not like rich and hum. So you got the people who are rich and hum, and you got the people who want to be rich and hum, but they're not there yet, so it's not. And then you got a third category. You've got people who have strayed so far from the vibration of who they are, that I am, that they're racked with pride. They are overcome with themselves. There's too many cases of those. in positions of authority they shouldn't be, but I'm not going to go there. So there are people like us that have been doing the practices long enough and are gathering together like we all are in this session so that we can begin to put words to our experiences. And in doing so, we can then take the steps that connect us to the experience that the words point to. That's Raja Yoga. In my humble opinion, there's nothing better. Funny, huh? I mean, it makes its way into the pantheon of interesting conversation. What do you think about humility? Let's hear from some of you. You've been listening to me all this time. I have to give my voice a rest. Let me hear from you. Some thoughts about humility. Liam, you're a real humble guy. What do you think about this?
It's kind of hard to put words to it.
That's absolutely true, by the way. Yes.
Yeah, like humility for me is just that place of knowing who I am and not being distracted by anything, and just flowing in that. And then the outward appearance of that to others might be humility, but it's just a place of flow and of knowing and of peace. So
Got it. Then yes.
What makes me feel humble is when I it's to realize that I'm part of everything.
Yeah.
And that's when I was meditating and I was being part of everything, I really felt very, very humble. It was amazing. You know, I was part of the birds and of the small little thing in the earth. I really felt oneness, and that's very humbling. And it's also, to me, a wonderful way not to feel alone,
Mm-hmm.
to feel separate, because at times I feel separate, but if I go back to hum and this feeling of oneness, honestly, it's wonderful. So I really, really liked what you said today. It was just great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So when I teach hatha, and I've done this for 46 years I've been teaching, that every time before the class starts, I take a moment and I align with Swamiji. But as you said it today, aligning with Swamiji is aligning to that which is aligned with the unified field. And honestly, I'm shocked. I'm delighted because the person that teaches Integra Yoga is not the personality that I am talking to you now. There's someone else, much less separate. I love what that woman just said of not aloneness. It's morely at oneness,
Mm-hmm.
and inside that the classes flow, the words flow, the instructions flow. Is nothing. Doesn't take a lot of thinking to teach. It takes a lot of presence to allow people to have their humanity.
Yeah. And Mel, that makes a good point, because many people confuse what's flowing through a person with the person. And they give too much credit to the person, too much credit now. They have to have some credit because it's flowing through them. But what's flowing through them is so much bigger than whoever it's flowing through. And if the individual knows that and experiences that, whoa.
So in all seriousness, Gary, yesterday I made an incredible hummus. The hummus was incredible. Not me, the hummus was incredible. But that actually, I think, reflects a lot of what we're talking about. What I feel about humility is that I've been fortunate enough to have a number of experiences where people have approached me afterwards and said, that was amazing. I said, well, yeah, I didn't even do anything. It felt like other than just being me, being my natural self, I did nothing different. But the outcome of whatever it was that included me being me was amazing. And it is sometimes hard to let that in to feel like, okay, I did something, because it really just feels like I was
Well,
just myself.
it will
That's
be,
it.
Charles, for sure. It will be when you're not vibrating in the unified field. Then you are separate and alone. And then there's that conflict. Should I let it in or not let it in? It's not really true. Or the opposite of pride. Oh, yeah, thank you. I am that. So that's where it's really important to know when you're in it and when you're out. And they're two different experiences, which you know.
Mhm.
That's our practices.
Yeah.
And I'd love to teach. I mean, I'd love to ingest that hummus. I'm
I'll
hungry.
share some with you one day.
I'm going to have dinner after this, but yes, thank you. Yeah. My confusion around humility was that I thought they were talking about me. And as soon as they're not talking about me. Stop making it about me. And I'd love to hear that. Just even what Charles says, it doesn't feel like you're doing anything. That's it.
Yeah.
You got it. You're experiencing it. Pretty exciting to know. And this changed my life when I studied Raja Yoga with Swami Satchidananda, which was the individual that Mel was talking about, who turned us both on to this amazing science and this amazing trip and journey. When I first realized that I'm a conduit, that I can't, as a personality, I can't even exist without hum. So it's not about not being connected to hum or not. No, that's not it. Is there any chatter going on in the mind? And is there any impurities in the body? And is there all kinds of crazy thoughts in your head that's getting your mind like it's a washing machine out of balance? Too many sheets on one side and socks on the other, and the whole thing's shaking like crazy. So it's up to us to understand that we are that all the time. That's the thing that changed me when I recognized that. That really was powerful. Not only that I could connect to it, but there was an exact experience that's consistent in everyone when they're in that I am. And it's consistent what it's like when we're not. So you meet a lot of people who are not humble. In most cases, it's not their fault. No one shared with them Raja Yoga. No one was actually successful in experiencing this I am while being in a personality in a body, which was the early days with Swami Satchidananda for sure. That's what I never saw it before. I actually saw it in action. There it was, human being in that state, interacting with others from that unified state. Whoa, changed my life completely. The direction of my life. So not everyone has had that opportunity. And so because of that, they have to build up their own egos. They have to use pride. They have to use greed. They have to, the I am that they think they am is this body and this mind. And so there's not enough room for anyone else in this body. One body, that's it for them. Wow. Wow. And they act and it's sad. So those of us who have been exposed to it, we have an opportunity here, a really important opportunity. Don't let it pass by. Take the time. You're worth it. We're worth it. Let's get this machinery all aligned with who we are. I saw them making the new Avatar movie, which I haven't seen, but I'm really excited by how they made it and all those little things they put on the faces so that what you're seeing is actually the other person, but it's not the other person. It's an avatar. It's so cool because that's what this is. This is not who we are. This is a projection of who we are. I am. Nah, I'm going to lose some of you. Going to think I'm on drugs. Okay, it's getting late. I'm hungry. You're really wonderful. It's nice to be back with you. We'll do this again. For the third season, we thought we'd try something different. We're not going to schedule anything. I don't know when it's going to be next, but I'll let you know when it comes up. I promise you. And if it's in the flow, it'll be consistent, but I can't promise anything. And thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your appreciation, every one of you.
Thank you, Gary.
Namaste, brother.